Yes, hello friends. Um, it's good to have you again. I've discussed in my previous video that we'll be having series of discussions in order to get ourselves informed. Because what we're doing here is to keep ourselves informed. So today I'll be having a brief discussion on something that look somehow to so many people not so important, but to so many people also a very important topic. Okay, and this topic is about emails, that is electronic messaging. Electronic messaging. You see, someone will wonder why why am I talking about electronic messaging? Because it's the common tool to everyone. Uh, we are so much familiar with it. We use it for so many reasons. It look so ordinary. So why do we have to talk about emails? What is so important about emails? I mean, people will wonder what is that is so important about emails. But uh, I guess it's quite important to have certain discussion about emails, which I believe is important to. It will be useful to everyone. Okay. For me personally, I've come across certain issues, so many issues in my very brief experience, either in the working place, even as student when I was a student, and that is why I feel that there are minor issues or minor concern about electronic messaging that we just need to talk about. Okay, so what I'll be doing is to just broadly share my own opinion, brief experiences, and some of the things I might alter, that I might say might not go down with you, or you might not actually believe in some of these information that I will give about electronic messaging. But that is why we have the comment section. So please, you can just pass comment through the section if you have a different opinion, or you also have an additional information that you want to put across. That would be so much lovely. Okay, it's so important because electronic messaging, especially in the 21st century, when innovation, ICT is so important to everyone. Uh, Before 2020, at the end of 2019, no one ever believed that the whole world will face the level of pandemic that we're facing currently, more than a year now. Okay, the pandemic has transformed the world. It has transformed our ways of doing businesses, our ways of living. It has transformed our ways of education. I mean, so many things that we do every day, things that are ordinarily our daily ways of life, has been transformed due to this pandemic. And we have seen so many changes across the globe in different uh, aspects of our lives. We've seen education now gradually becoming an online thing, online phenomenon. Okay, and that is to tell everyone that uh, the place of ICT or anything that has to do with electronic or technology shouldn't be taken with kids' gloves. So that this is why I will be talking briefly on electronic messaging. You see, I believe that electronic messaging is primarily for communication. Okay, it's for communication. And don't forget that when you use electronic messaging, you do that to communicate, either in form of exchanging pleasantries. I could recall that oftentimes me and my friends sometimes, when we are engrossed, especially with our work, with our research, and we desire to keep away from people, and sometimes we shut ourselves indoor, just try to attend to a particular issue. What we do sometimes is to turn off our mobile phones. So when we turn off our mobile phones, it means we are off internet. I mean, we are off WhatsApp, social network, and also you cannot even call that by direct line. Okay, so for those who are close or those who that we need to communicate with, what we do is to exchange our communication via the emails. So for someone like me, you see, I love using emails, electronic messaging, as a form of as a medium to exchange pleasantries, to exchange greetings, to check on my friends, my families. Okay, so I also believe that for so many people, this is the way of life. For so many people, this is what electronic messaging is all about. It's about exchanging communication with friends, with family, with loved ones. But also for some other reasons, or for a certain set of people, electronic messaging is also useful for in the aspect of businesses or for formal communication, for official communication, for business individuals, for communications that are formal. And the essence of this discussion about electronic communication is to just hint about some of the etiquettes, okay, some of the manners of emails, of email communication. So I would say email mannerism or email etiquette. Okay, we for everyone, even including myself, we do take so many things for granted when it comes to electronic messaging. So, but I I was exposed to the core importance of electronic messaging when I was a student, PhD, during my PhD program in Eastern Mediterranean University. And this has really shaped my life. Sincerely speaking, I need to be sincere. It's actually shaped my life. Okay. And that is why I can't actually do this discussion without giving credit to certain individuals. Okay. I remember when I was a graduate research assistant uh, in Eastern Mediterranean University during my PhD program. I was working precisely in the international office, okay, for more than 4 years, okay, for about 4 years thereabout. But there was a time also that I was a senior instructor. I lectured undergraduate students for a semester or two thereabout. But mainly for good 4 years, I was graduate research assistant working with the international office of that great university. And at that time, when I was doing my job, my primary responsibility as a graduate assistant is to oversee majorly all communications that have to do with African students. I'm directly responsible to handle some of these communications and some other communications. So one of the things that actually shaped my life, I would rather say, were certain individuals that I work with in that particular period. Okay, one of them is Mr. Mekazim. Okay, he's one of this individual that is, I always want to say he's a workaholic. He will always follow up with all kind of communications via emails. Okay, because most of the email, he gets to see most of the emails, and he follow up those emails if I'm actually taking responsibility of responding or attending to those queries. So he's following up. He also even follow up to the extent of checking even on weekends to know if I'm actually doing what I'm meant to do. Okay. Then it looks so burdensome. It looks so stressful. But sincerely speaking, I could see how important electronic messaging was then. So that's actually exposed my understanding of electronic messaging, how important it is to so many people. Then also I was under the supervision of Professor Sergeant Timor Professor James Tanova, Professor Dr. Ozan, Dr. Lash. I mean, I give credit to these individuals because with proper supervision, I was able to do my job, especially as respect to email, response to email and correspondence from students and from parents of African descent. Then also, in the aspect of my research also, I find email so important. I mean, corresponding through email so important. And I learned so much from some individuals as well. Some of the professors I've met, which that have actually shaped my orientation about mannerism of emails. Someone like Professor Gupta, Professor Simplis, and the likes. So, and sometimes when you are sent an email or you receive an email and you fail or you're unable to respond adequately to what the sender has expected of you, it could be likened to a snub, okay? When especially that means of communication is for exchange of pleasantries. So it's as if someone is saying hello to you along the street and you decided to ignore such a greeting. So it's like a snub. So that could be one of the things that we often take for granted. We don't see that as a snub. We don't see that as so important. We don't see that as, oh, yeah, it doesn't even matter. Of course, I've seen the email and I've seen you, okay? But I believe that when a sender or when someone sends an email or a message and to say hello or to exchange pleasantry or to mention a particular information, even in an informal situation, okay, I believe that it is expected that we respond in the simplest way possible, okay? Even not even mindful that it is an informal communication, okay? So that is, for me, I think it warms hearts. It shows that someone is responding to your greeting. Someone is responding to your compliments. Someone is saying, okay, yes, I heard you. So that is the way I see it. You can also liken that to exchange of message, SMS. But when that is not done, you often also see that as a snub. So the same thing applies to electronic messaging. So that is why, of course, it looks so ordinary, so simple, but I will also mention why we shouldn't look at it so petty. We shouldn't look at it that, oh, it's something that is not so important. If I respond and if I don't respond, that doesn't mean. That shouldn't be. So now let's move away from the use of electronic message as a form of exchanging pleasantries. Now, when it comes to using electronic messaging as a medium for official communication, maybe business official communication, some other communication that has to do with applications for job, application for inquiry, for a career position, application even for education placement. So when you look at it in that way as well, it's quite so important that we pay attention to emails, to electronic messaging, because like I said at the beginning of this discussion, that electronic messaging, we should also see that as an alternative, okay, to some of our social network platform or medium of communication, okay, because the use of internet is getting more important in our daily activities. So therefore, we need to expand our options. So you might have the opportunity to communicate with people around you, your office colleagues, via your social network, your Facebook, your Twitter, or thereabout. But also, there should be alternatives to that. So in the aspect of using electronic messaging for official purposes, this is actually one of the most important thing that prompted me to make this discussion. Okay. Uh, Even of recent, I'm kind of, maybe I will say I'm a victim, or I would rather say I'm experiencing one of the hiccups related to this. Just about a few days ago, I was trying to work on a particular project. So, and this project we require me to establish communication with some high schools in Nigeria, international high schools in Nigeria. So what I did, because I don't have official contacts of these schools, so what I did was to use the internet. Okay, I utilized the internet to retrieve email contacts, and one of the things I found so funny was also that, most of the schools, not most, all the schools I got, because I did actually got 20s international, I mean, one of the best schools, international high schools in Nigeria. So one of the things I find out is that the common email you will see in most of these schools' websites are just normal contact emails that have to do with, for instance, info@ blah blah blah.com. So from my own experience, I also know that some of these emails are just, you can just, some of these emails are kept on the website just for formality sake. No one gets to respond. No one gets to even check those emails. So, but notwithstanding, because of the project I'm working on, I'm trying to get a project done. So what I did, I collected this email from about 20 high schools, and these are reputable high schools. I really don't want to mention those high schools. They are reputable. I can bet you they are the top best high schools in Nigeria across the country. So I sent email to all the 20 high schools. Friends, this is disheartening. Okay, only one. I got response from only one of the schools. Although before that time, I have planned to talk about electronic messaging. Okay, so only one of these 20 schools actually responded. So 19, 19 never, is either these schools didn't receive, or as usual, the email got to the box and no one was there to check the emails. So this is what I'm talking about. Now, the project I have, or the project I'm working on, is not directly for me. I don't want to talk much about that. It's for the young ones. Okay. Now you could see that. Let's assume that I will not. For now, I haven't taken extra measures to establish my communication with other 19 schools. I haven't done that. I don't know what to do. Okay, maybe I have to use try their mobile contact as well, because for some I could see mobile contact on their website. So I haven't done that yet. So now let's assume that I won't go that line. Let's assume that I will just ignore these 19 schools who never bothered to reply my email. So what that indicates is that whatever project I have in mind, whatever target that I have in mind, it means that even for those lives that might be touched through that proposed project, it means that they might not have the opportunity to benefit from it. So that is to tell us what we get to miss or what we get to lose, okay, when we don't pay attention to some minor things like electronic messaging. So I want to believe, like in those schools, that should be a personnel, a staff that is specifically responsible to handle such emails. Now, if that staff, if that personnel is not doing his or her job, now it is the responsibility of the supervisor to oversee if that respected individual is performing his or her responsibility or not. So that is to say that there are so many things we got to lose. There are certain things we get to be challenged of when we don't pay attention to minor issues. I can count several experiences that I've had with emails. Even till now, there was a particular there was a particular communication or we, with my friends, we try to establish with a particular embassy, okay, which I will not mention, okay. We've sent the email for, who knows, maybe a month ago now. No response, no acknowledgement if we receive or not. And someone will ask, maybe they didn't receive, but I will tell you they receive. How? Because the first thing we did was that we were able to establish a mobile communication with the embassy, and the embassy specifically on the phone gave the email and said, okay, please just send the email, we will respond to this, blah blah blah. But more than a month now, no communication, no feedback. So these are some of the minor mannerism in the aspect of the use of email for official purpose. Then one of the things I will not fail to mention is, especially in my own field, research, number one, and in the academics. I've had so much experiences. I do interact with my students. One of the things so many students mostly complain about, okay, across the world I've heard in different schools, is lack of communication between students and the university, okay. Oftentimes students do complain that oftentimes they send email to particular department, to particular office, and there is no response. Sometimes sometimes the email is not responded to for maybe even for a month or thereabout, or at all the email will not even be responded to. So many times I've heard this type of complaint. That is also to say that we are missing something. That is also to say that we are not paying attention to some of these etiquettes, to some of these mannerisms in electronic communication. Actually, I've also seen, I don't actually use that, but I've seen from friends, I've seen from people, I've seen from even people that don't know. Oftentimes, if you pay attention, sometimes you send email to a certain individual and you automatically get a response saying that I'm not available now, I will respond to you. Or sometimes I'm on leave now from so date to so dates. I so much love that. I don't use that in my email. The reason I love it, sincerely speaking, the reason I don't use it is that I'm always available to answer my email. Okay, I guess the longest flight or trip that you can make is about 12 hours about 14 or 16 hours. Okay, so, and the longest trip I've ever made is about 9 hours. So I believe that within 9 hours, okay, if I don't respond, it might not be bad as such. But one of the things I do often make sure I do is that especially when I'm on trip, as soon as I get to my destination, either my hotel room, one of the things I would want to do is to get access to the internet, to use the internet to check my emails. So this is why I don't actually use the auto response. But for those who use the auto response, friends, this is quite very lovely. It shows that you pay attention to people's concern. Okay, I do receive that as well. Oh, I'm on leave now, I will respond to time. This is actually good. This is this is good enough. Okay, and this is expected, especially for those who are not disposed to respond to email for a particular period of time, so that at least someone can know that there will be a follow-up. But when there is a blank, no auto response, no acknowledgement, no even feedback, that is not good enough. It is one of the concerns, it is one of the challenges, and it is one of the lack of mannerism that we see. Yes, yes, I've also heard of people who sometimes use their junk mail as excuse of missing out of a particular appointment. And recently, someone just shared with me how he was unable to meet up with a specific appointment, all because this individual failed to check the junk mail. So your junk mail is as important as your inbox mails. Mannerism that we talk about in electronic messaging. So, and lastly, especially for those who are involved in this field of research, you will see that in scientific research, you will see that uh, electronic messaging is so much important. It's important because when you are done with your studies, okay, you have prepared a manuscript. One of the, if not the only way or the only platform you get to submit your manuscript is either to send your manuscript via email directly to whoever is responding for the journal, or you also submit via the journal's platform. Okay, so if you get to submit via the journal's platform, most of the journal will definitely send an automated response that to acknowledge the receipt of your manuscript. So for so many of us also that are in the field of that are doing research, you will see that we always we do appreciate when we receive such acknowledgments, or sometimes some journals do even take extra measures to give part-time communication, especially Emirates do communicate by saying, oh, dear author, this is the stage we are regarding your manuscripts. This is the next stage we are expected to be. And for those of us that are in this aspect of life, we do enjoy such communication. Okay, so and this is the type of communication that is needed in all aspects of life. Okay, so friends, what I'm just saying is that there is need for everyone to pay more attention to electronic message mannerism. It is quite important because there are so many lives that depend on it. As I'm talking now, someone right there out there is sending email to a particular university for inquiry about admission. Someone right there is sending an application for a job or for whatever. Even if such a response is not going to be positive, but it's better there is a response than there is no response at all. Oftentimes, I could remember then also when I was applying for job, or yes, especially applying for jobs, and you could see that when you're applying for a job, or you are in a particular moment of your life that you are searching and trying to get a good opportunity out there, and you keep applying, sending emails upon emails, and as much as you are sending, you are also receiving rejection emails saying that sorry, you won't be considered for this position. For me, I prefer such negative feedback. I prefer to have a feedback than not to have a feedback at all. Okay, when you don't have a feedback at all, it's simply, sometimes it paints a picture that we don't even recognize you, by the way. We don't even care about you, by the way. I mean, that is the message. So so I'm just saying that it is highly important that we pay more attention to electronic messaging. It is important because for people out there, depending on whatever state they are in life, sometimes their expectation depends on a particular message they have sent to an institution and establishment. So, and most importantly, for those of us that are responsible to respond to emails, to oversee a particular correspondence in offices, it is also good we pay more attention to some of these mannerisms regarding emails, because it's good enough it helps humanity. It might be one of the least thing that you can do to help uh, fellow human by giving adequate response. I could understand that some people don't like to even engage in official duties, especially when they are on holidays or when they are on or especially on weekends. Okay, uh, some people don't want to pay attention to anything official during weekends. They believe weekend is my own time to rest. That is good. That is perfect. Okay, that is not, of course, no. It can be penalized. You can be penalized for doing that. But at the same time, also, there could be prompt response. Okay, maybe immediately after the weekend or immediately after your break, or even there could be auto response to say that, okay, I won't be available for this period. Definitely, I'm going to respond to you after this particular period. That is good enough. And there are some others that don't even care. Okay, they want to respond to their email. They want to continue to communicate at every time of the day. For instance, for me, I don't care if I'm on holiday, if I'm on, if it's weekend. I don't know if I'm going to change, but I've gotten to realize that this is my perception of life. So I don't expect myself to change. Okay, I would hope to continue to work with that principle, and that is why my students do know me. I get to respond to their communication almost few hours after receiving their communications. So I mean, everyone can be that way, okay, but as much as you can do, at least not to keep someone in dark, at least to give assurance to someone that, okay, yes, I've acknowledged, but I will pay attention, I will respond deeply, I will give detailed response to your inquiry or your questions later on. That is good enough. Okay, thank you so much. What I've just shared now, it could be my own personal, maybe personal observation or experiences, but in one way or the other, I think that might go a long way to help everyone, at least to make everyone to live a better life. Okay, a better life where we see everyone smiling. Everyone cannot be smiling, everyone cannot be happy, but we should try as much as possible to do our best, the small we can, at least to make someone else happier. That will be good enough. So thank you so much for paying attention. What I will expect from you, my friends, is that please, when you listen to this, if you have a different opinion about electronic messaging, the mannerism of electronic messaging and email etiquette, so please, you can just drop that comment you can just drop your comments in the comment section, and we can also look through that. We can also maybe try to expand the discussion. Okay, we can also try to see if we can talk to some professionals who can give further insights on something like this. It looks so ordinary, very simple, like I said, but I believe this is quite important. It's good that we pay attention to some of this. So thank you, friends. Thank you, and I believe that you're going to continue to promote the channel. Like I said, this channel is for every one of us. We are doing here is to keep ourselves informed. We'll keep ourselves informed in this channel. As you get to keep yourself informed, please try to get to keep someone else informed. So what you can do is to share this channel. Try to promote the channel in your best way you can do. Share the channel. Also, please don't forget, very important, try to click on the subscription button. This is very important. We would need to have a strong subscriber base, okay, because this belongs to those families, individuals, professionals that always want to get informed. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself. Get safe. Continue to be safe. Bye.